Hello, happy Friday. I am so excited for today's math activities because they are super fun. So here we have an estimation mystery, and these are my favorite. We only got to do a couple in class this year, but I hope you love them just as much as I do, and I hope you enjoy this. So what you're going to do is you're looking at the dominoes in this cup, and you want to estimate about how many dominoes there are in the cup. Now remember, when we're making an estimation, it's a reasonable guess, okay? So something that makes sense. We wouldn't want to say something like, oh, there are 500 dominoes in that cup, or there are 2 dominoes in that cup, because those are not reasonable answers. So when Miss Becker came in and she did this with you guys, she said, go ahead and count what you can see and kind of think about what might be on the other side of that to make a first reasonable estimate. So that's what I want you to do if you haven't already done so. I want you to look at the domino cup and create a reasonable answer. Okay, then you can go ahead, and you need to have a 120 chart to do this activity. If you don't, it's going to be really difficult. So there's one in the packet. If you have the packet, you could even write one out. If you're on Google Classroom, there's one right there, and you can draw right on that. So that would be a really great way to have your 120 chart, but you need it. So make sure you have that, okay? So on top of your 120 chart, write your first estimation just to see how close you were. That's kind of part of the fun, to see how close you got in your original estimation. So after you make your original estimation, you're going to use these 4 clues to help you come up with a final answer. Okay, so clue number 1 says the answer is between 20 and 50. So if you had to draw this 120 chart, you would not even need to draw the whole thing. Okay, because anything less than 20 wouldn't be on here, and anything greater than 50 wouldn't be on here. So you could just do 20 through 50. Okay? Clue number 2, the answer is even. So remember, even numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So if those numbers are anywhere in your ones place, then that is even, and it could be one of your answers. But if in your ones place you have a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, you're going to want to go ahead and cross that off because those are odd, and we know our answer is not odd. So if you said, oh, I think the answer is 23. Well, 23 would be reasonable given clue number 1 because it's between 20 and 50, but it would not be reasonable after clue number 2 because now you know that there's no odd numbers. So you might say, oh, well, maybe it's 24. And then you might even change your thought, okay? Your original estimation. So then you look at number 3. The answer does not have a 4 in the tens place. So any number that has a 4 in the tens place, you can just go ahead and cross right off. And the answer does not have a 4 in the ones place. So if the answer, the number has a 4 in the ones place, cross that off. Then you'll be left with just a few select answers, okay? There will only be a couple. I want you to pick which one you think is right. Now, if you're wrong, it's okay. Part of it is just the fun and excitement of trying to come up with estimation. But as long as your answer goes along and fits with these clues, you're good to go, okay? So you can go ahead and check your answer on the answer key of this packet, okay? And Friday, continuing with the fun, I wanted to go over the Greg Tang games that were new this week because you want to complete your little Greg Tang game board by the end of today. So this first game is called Numbskull. So the goal of Numbskull is to create a number bond. So we know that a number bond has 2 numbers, and then when you add them together, that gives you your third. So for example, if I had a 10 on top, 7 and 3 could be part of my number bond, or 4 and 6, or whatever combination. But it's a little trickier than that because in Numbskull, your cards, they cannot be the same color. They have to be 3 different colors, and they also have to be touching. So you're going to look at the cards and you're going to say, okay, what 2 numbers can I add together to get a third number that everything is touching and all the cards are different? So I look at this and I see 10 and I love 10. It's a friendly number. So I look at that 10 and I look around it and I say, okay, well, what numbers around it could add to 10? And then I see 6 and 4. Are they different colors? Yes. And 6 plus 4, does it equal 10? Yes. And are they touching? Yes. So that's going to go ahead and be my match. So you're going to go through and do that for all of these. Now be careful because if you're actually playing this on the computer, it will trick you. I was playing it earlier just to kind of get a feel for it. And when I was clicking, like this one, for example, 4, 1, and 5. 4 plus 1 does equal 5, but what is the problem? These cards are the same color, okay? So you have to be careful. It's a little bit tricky, okay? And then the last game is Kakuma. And this one's really fun and it tricked me honestly at first. So it's gonna take some trial and error. But with Kakuma, you are going to do the same type thing. You want to figure out what two numbers you can add to get your sum. So if we look in this box, we know 3 plus 1 equals 4. So we would circle 4. Then we look at this box and think, what two numbers can we add together to get our sum? So 8 plus 7 is 15, so that doesn't work. 8 plus 5 is 13, so that doesn't work. So 5 plus 7 is 12, so then I would circle 12. And you're going to do that for all of them. But then what you do, so you have 4, 12, and then your other two answers, then you have to figure out what the sum of those four, like what's the sum with those four numbers. So if I have 4, 12, 7, and 11. 4, 12, 7, and 11. Hold on. Let me go ahead and circle these. 4, 12, 7, and 11. So I look at that and I have to figure out what numbers I can add to get my new sum. So 7 plus 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I know that 11 is my total answer.